We're here at PorcFest 11th edition. This is SovereignBTC, John Bush. I caught up with Mark DeMiesel. He's an investor in NXT, and he's also a really big advocate. Gave a speech on NXT. It was a panel. It was well attended, and we're going to chat about NXT, what sets it apart from some of the alternatives, and what role he believes it's going to play in disrupting the status quo of big monopoly control over just about everything. Mark, how are you doing today?
Hi, John. Thank you so much for having me on.
Awesome. So first, just tell us, what is NXT?
NXT is a new cryptocurrency. It's only 6 months old, but it succeeded in already becoming the third largest cryptocurrency. After Bitcoin, you have Litecoin, and then you have NXT. Currently, the market cap is about 60-70 million.
Wow.
And Litecoin is 250 million, and Bitcoin 7 billion. And the fourth and the fifth places are all a lot behind, so it really succeeded in getting that firm position at third place. Yeah, I think I'm sure it offers a lot of innovations over Bitcoin.
Cool. You seem really excited about cryptocurrency in general. How did you get involved in the cryptocurrency space?
Well, I used to be I've always been an investor since early on, but I really started to see the problem with the banking system before 2008 and 2005-06, and I became a gold bug. I invested in gold and silver, and then the crisis happened, and I did not too bad. I only lost 10% of my portfolio, which gave me the confidence that actually, because I was looking to get something off the ground, and that really gave me the confidence that I should go into sharing my investment work with the world and helping people invest better. And so then I started, I did a lot of different moves, but basically my average returns were about 6% from 2008 till 2012, which is not good enough to make a living from it. And then I discovered Bitcoin. I was thinking a long time to start funds because I thought that was the way to make money, but I never took the step because of the banking system. Like, I just become a target for governments when I set up funds, so that's not useful. And then I just kicked that idea out, and coincidentally or not, but my mind then started to open for something like Bitcoin, and it clicked with me, and so I invested 10% of my portfolio into Bitcoin. What was $13, and since then, yeah, of course, it has gone up a lot, and my return in 2013 was 270% in 1 year.
Oh, wow. So
that is almost quadrupling my capital, and my average return thanks to that is 30% per year since 2008. So I'm now a top investor in the world.
Wow, that's impressive. So tell us, what about NXT sets it apart from other cryptocurrencies? I understand it's a meta coin. It has its own blockchain, and you can use NXT to create assets. And tell us more about NXT. What makes it so special?
Yeah, so they have the vision to decentralize everything, and many people say that, but NXT actually delivers on that. So they have a currency, a decentralized currency, but they also have a decentralized messaging system. You can just send messages. So in your client you see your money, but you also see your messages that you got from other people.
Cool.
And you can just send a simple message, no PGP, nothing, but it is fully encrypted and easy to use. And the same for the asset exchange. It's decentralized asset exchange, so you can launch an IPO, fully anonymous. There is no central point. It's all done in all the different clients that are run on the computers of people, and you can buy stocks and other assets, silver, whatever, and have them all in your account behind your private key.
Awesome. Tell us more about this distributed asset exchange. How exactly does it work?
It's like any exchange. You just launch an asset. It's called an IPO. And you just launch that asset, you give it a name, you pay 1,000 NXT for that, which is about $70, super cheap, and then people can just put in bid and ask offers for that asset, and so you get always if you go like on exchange, you see the bids and asks, and you can fill bids and asks also, and that's how it works.
What are some of the applications that have come about so far? What are some of the businesses, and what types of industries are taking advantage of NXT?
Well, there I'm not an expert because I think the best investment is to just invest in NXT, keep the coins, and not invest in the companies on the asset exchange. That's my personal opinion, because chances are very low that these companies will go up in NXT value. Very likely, I think they will go down. Just like all the Bitcoin companies, all these assets, all these Bitcoin shares will go down in Bitcoin value when Bitcoin 10-folds or 100-folds. So that's why I'm not an expert in it, but I do know you can buy silver, for example, on the exchange. You can also buy into a shark fund, and they trade different currencies and they try to make a profit expressed in NXT, which they have failed until today. But you never know. Good traders may outperform Bitcoin, but I prefer to hold on to my Bitcoin and NXT.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other altcoins. NXT is in the 3rd position for the highest market cap, which is really impressive, especially after just 6 short months, like you said. What's your opinion of Litecoin, and what do you think NXT? I mean, I guess it's kind of like a rhetorical question what it has to offer over Litecoin, because Litecoin doesn't really have any innovations I could think of over Bitcoin. What are your thoughts on that? I know Darkcoin came onto the scene and for a little while was in that 3rd spot. What are your opinions on Litecoin and some of the other coins that have hovered around that 3rd place position?
Yeah, I invest. First, I was angry with Litecoin copycats that don't offer considerably innovation, because they take value away from Bitcoin. That's what I thought, but I started to see that was not correct. There is room for actually competition is super important. Even if it's just a copycat, they will always do something different. They are different people to start with, so there is a place for it. So I did buy it as a backup for Bitcoin failing, but then. Discovering NXT makes me realize that, well, you know, the biggest vulnerabilities of Bitcoin is, I think, the 51% attack, and Litecoin will be also down when Bitcoin would be down with 51% attack, because then they take all mining coins down in one shot with that equipment. So it's not really a backup to that, whereas NXT is, because that's really important. What I liked as an investor is NXT has no inflation. That I really like. There are no coins being created every day, like with Bitcoin, 3,600 coins. All else being equal, that does take away value from my Bitcoins. Whereas with NXT, I know that there are no extra coins, so that I like. But how is that possible? Because it's another architecture. It proof of stake and not proof of work. So you need to prove that you have a stake in order to validate transactions. Whereas with Bitcoin, you have to prove that you did work to validate transactions. And so that way, if you want to have 51% of the do a 51% attack and dominate the network, with NXT you need 51% of the coins, and that will not be possible without pushing up the price so high that I can buy a beautiful yacht. Whereas with Bitcoin you only need to buy mining equipment, and that can be done actually very cheaply. With today the calculation is simple. With I think, how much is it? $200 million. You can actually achieve a 51% attack from zero. Wow. And a central bank can easily do that. Not saying the chance is high that it will happen, but it is possible.
Okay. I think that's an interesting dichotomy between the proof of work and proof of stake. That's definitely something that sets the coin apart. Tell me about the community behind NXT. From what I can understand, there's a pretty thriving community. A lot of people are excited about participating in this cryptocurrency. Tell us what the community's like and what they have to offer the coin.
Yeah, I think for me that's super important. And when I look at the competition, that's one of the things, like Mastercoin and Counterparty. They also want a decentralized asset exchange. But then when I look at their forums, it's just that. And the asset exchange that's up is also that. You have 1-2 assets. It's just no people in. I mean, I'm exaggerating a bit, but it's not thriving, and that's very important. With NXT, they have a very active forum, a lot of people joining, and that gives me confidence in the investment. it's not dependent on a few people. Even if the lead developer fucks up, there is enough drive to just fork that project and do it with other people and get it realized.
Yeah, it definitely makes a world of difference. The community, if something has an empty community, it can stall out, it can fail a lot more easier. If there's people that have a stake, that are passionate about it like yourself, then I think it has a much greater future. Okay, so finally, before we let you go, tell us where people can find more information about NXT, and tell us exactly where the currency is today. Is there any news coming on the horizon? What can people expect?
Yeah, so in order to buy NXT, my recommendation is BTR. Is the biggest exchange. Like 50% of the trade volume of NXT is at BTR, and the exchange works really well. It's a Chinese one, but you send coins, it all immediately processes, and that's really nice. They do have a commission of 0.5%, but it's worth the money, I think. NXT has a lot in the works. I must say, I'm not really on top of that right now. What the next thing is that they will bring out. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't really answer that question decently. I'm really focused on getting the word out right now of what they already realized. But I know there's a lot. For example, Bitcoin solves storage with cold storage. That's safe. But with NXT, they plan to solve that differently. They plan to create phasing, which is a system whereby actually I can't explain the details. I don't get it yet, but it seems interesting to me. But basically the vision is decentralize everything. So some people are working now on the asset exchange. You cannot yet trade cryptocurrencies themselves, so they are working on that. Some people are working on decentralized voting, so that important things can be just voted on with your coins. Cool. Some people are working on just a decentralized Facebook that they want to implement. Actually, the next big thing is that's the first thing is the decentralized goods store, cool, which is a really big deal. So instead of having a centralized eBay platform, it will be decentralized so that the government cannot take that down.
Awesome. What's the main website people can go to follow everything?
So you have nxt.org, but the forum, nxtforum.org, is where I go to a lot. Yeah, that's that.
Awesome. All right, Mark. Well, thanks for chatting with us.
Well, thank you so much.